go ahead with the creation of a smart form. Okay, so basically, if let's say you are an organization like something like Airtel or something, Airtel. Now in Airtel, if they have to send greetings to 10 crore customers, so the greeting should be in a proper manner, like it should have a kind of a, no, a layout of a page. It should have a layout of a page. So that layout of a page needs to be designed in forms. So in forms, one of the forms is smart forms. So we will design the form. Okay, we'll design the form, and then we will make use of that form for, and then we'll use a print program. So what the print program does is, the print program actually enables us to, write the logic behind it, and then we'll go ahead with the smart forms concept. So prior to smart forms, we had something called scripts. So scripts happens to be a old version of it, a old version. So it's kind of a outdated kind of a version. So we'll go with the smart forms now. So in smart forms, we'll be doing a simple scenario. First, let's do a very simple scenario to understand the logic of smart forms, and then we'll go ahead with the next what else we have. We'll go ahead. So in the form, we'll be creating a page. We'll be creating a page, and in the page, we'll have windows. Okay, each window, when the windows are in page, they are called page windows. They're called page windows. So these page windows is something which we are going to create, and we're going to create some text elements in it. Okay, so this is the hierarchy. So first we'll create a page. Okay, and by default, when we create a smart form, by default, a page will be created, and that then we'll create windows. By default, there is a default window, default page, page one, default window, default window, main window. Default page is page one, and default window is main window. Main window is something. So there will be different types of windows, guys. Like uh, there'll be main window. So what is a window? First of all, let us understand what is it. See, we'll get a header data, right? Header is one window. Logo is another window. To address is another window. Main window is another. Footer is another window. So in this way, we can create different windows, and the entire window can have its own font, own color, everything. So in this way, we can build it. So there will be windows. Those are called windows. Okay, page, you all know. There's A4 size page. Whatever we decide, that will be the page. So the transaction code for this is smart forms. To design the layout, just like you have used the SE51 transaction to design the screens, right? Similarly, to design the smart form, you have to make use of a transaction code called smart forms. So we'll go ahead into the smart forms and design. But first of all, let us understand what is the scenario that we are going to do. See, let's say we have a warehouse. So there's a warehouse for this, you know, Mars chocolates. So this Mars chocolates has a warehouse where all the chocolates will be there. So whenever the truck is moving out, we have to get a list of all the trucks. Okay. So for that, we had created, this is a real time scenario which we had done in the project, but we'll simplify it. Let's not get into the real time that much of big one, because it will take time. We'll understand the very simple one, wherein we have a warehouse, and every time a truck goes out, they should check in a hard copy. The security will be given a, the security department will have this security department will take care of the, they'll have a list of a printout. Okay, print out with list of materials or something. So it was a customized table wherein we had the list of all the trucks and the truck numbers with truck numbers as well. But what we'll do is we'll use storage location related table, and that table will be Mardi. So I'm using the standard table Mardi here, and from there we'll get the data, and we'll print list of all the data. So what should come in the page is it should give you the to address to the security team, and you should get the header, and we should get the main window. Then we get the footer from. So these are all the things that we have. So we can get all these things like to, main, from, footer, and then we have this. These are all the windows that we can create. A header. We can create these headers, these windows, and then we can populate some data in this. We can populate some data in this. So for this, what we'll do is we'll design the page, we'll design these windows, and then we'll design what should come in that. And remember, anything that we get in this, dynamic data. So we'll have one static data and dynamic data. So static data and dynamic data. So static data is something which will not change in any of the pages, but dynamic data is something which will change in every page. Okay. So for that, we'll do one scenario. So now we are going to take this as Marty. So we need to create, before starting the smartphones concept, we need to create one structure and table type. Structure and table type have to be created. So structure and table type, we have to create the structure and table type, and this needs to be done in SC level, the global one, which you already know, global structure. So global structure and global table type is what we need to create, because that will be useful here, and that would be for the Mardi table, right? So we'll get the data from the Mardi. So we'll create a structure and table type, and then we'll create these windows and all. So there are some major things that we have to focus on right now, and the small small options that we have, we'll look at them later. So let's look at the major part. The major part is to design the smart form in the smart form transaction and write the logic, the program in the XC38. So this is what is the process. So let's go ahead and design the smart form. So we have SN. So before smart form, as we discussed, let us create a structure here with the Mardi table fields. So let's start off with the creation of a structure with these fields. Let's go ahead into the. So we're creating a structure and a table type with couple of fields because it has too many fields. We're creating a structure and table type. There is we can normally take this table itself as a structure which you already know. We'll go for MATNR. So this Mardi. This is a structure. So these are the structure. So these are the fields in the structure. So this structure has been created. As you all know, without structure we cannot create the table type. So we'll create a table type now, and because we already created a structure, now we can create a table type with that reference. So we need to give a reference of a structure here. So material storage. I will go ahead with here ZST underscore Mardi activate. We created this ZST underscore Mardi, ZIT underscore Mardi. That's the table type that we have created now. So we'll now go to the smart forms to design the smart form layout. So we'll go to a transaction code called smart forms. The smart forms is the transaction code name. Okay. So if you can see there on the top, I've typed smart forms. /o to open it in the new screen that you already noted. platforms transaction, and we'll be designing the layout here, just like we designed the SE51. But in SE51, if you have to design the screen, you have to have the program name, right? But here it is not required like that. So we'll go ahead with the form z dxc underscore. Um, say I'm giving it as Madi underscore sf. You can give it a smart form. Create. We get this form here. So this is a storage location related tab. This is a layout actually. So we can see the layout, or we can hide the layout also. Okay. So now the layout has been hidden. So if you click on this painter, you'll see the layout here. So this is the layout of the page. So we can also reduce the size like to 75%. We can see the we can also reduce the size even more further. Okay, so this is the layout. Okay, let's hide the layout for time being now, and we'll go ahead with the form attributes. In the form attributes output options, you will be seen what should be the size of the page. So this is A4 size. So this is a static size A4 size, and style is system. So what are the styles and all these things we'll discuss. So form interface. So we'll have the form interface, and in the form interface we'll have features just like a function module: import parameters, export parameters, tables, exceptions. So we'll go for this form attributes. Is we have this output options in form interface. In the form interface, in the tables we'll define it underscore mardi type z it underscore mardi. It is mandatory that you have to give a table type here. If you give mara or something, or any structure name or table name, it will throw an error. So global definitions, in the global definitions, the global data will just normally define the work area, that is mardi type zst underscore mardi. Save it. So here we can see the default page, page one, and default window, main window. These two things are coming here. So in this default page, we'll be creating other windows like header window, item window, and all these things. Now we have done this. We have declared the internal table in the tables in the form interface, and in the global definitions in the global data, we declared the work area. So this is what we have, the main window, and we'll go ahead with create window, header window. We'll go with header window. And we'll go with footer window. To address or something like that. Okay. So these all things we can create any number of can create any number of windows. So I'm restricting it to for some four windows. So once we create this, the window when we create the window output options, in the output options, what should be the default width and default height and all these things, and left margin, upper margin, all these things can be decided. Now what are we doing here is we didn't give any left margin and upper margin, and we just gave, by default it is taking all the window sizes 2. So if you see this, you will get all the windows on the top with two dimension. Okay, so what we have to do right now is we'll go ahead with adjusting the sizes. So in the graphical we can adjust the sizes. So we've done this header to main and footer window and all these things. So we have done this. Okay, so once this designing is done, automatically the dimensions will change in this particular left side window. Whatever we can see, that will be changed. So, and once it's been done, click on this prompt enter conditions. So in this conditions we can write. Okay. So now in each of this window we have to create the uh, text elements. So this to address, or let's start with the header. Right click on the header and we need to give the create text. So now here we have this text element. So you just click on this editor and you can just type here Airtel India, okay, something like this. And this is a heading. This happens to be a heading, and it's been changed now, dated. So to address. In the to address, I'll be creating the text again. Here also we'll click on this. We can change that text name also. So to address to we'll give it as and wa underscore. So in the two we'll go for security. Security security is print was 3 March. So March and somewhere. Okay. So now just back. We're hard coding the value. In the main window, right click on the main window, click on create. So we'll create a table here. Okay. So table, when we create a table, okay, so footer also we have to create a text, right? So footer also we'll just write text. Right click on this, create text. Terms and conditions, apply. So and then in the main window, we'll be creating a table with all these details. So if you want to create a table, so if we have to create a table here, okay, so what I wanted to explain is that we will be having a table. So when we create a table, default there will be three parts that will get created: header, main, then we have this footer. So in the main window and in the main in the header we'll get the text, main will get the data information, will get the information here, and footer will get the whatever we have, the subtotals or totals or something like that. So header, main, and footer. Whenever we create a table, by default these three rows will be created. In main window, all the information will be printed, all the information will be printed. Footer might be only one row, header might be only one row, but main window will have multiple rows. Let's see that now. So we'll go ahead with create table. So we'll also, when we create a table, by default this header, main, and footer will be displayed here. Now in the header, footer, and in this we'll have the line types. So let's say we have the line type 1. This line type we are making partitions. We are making some 3 or 4 columns. Columns. Okay. And in line type 2, we create 2 columns. So if line type 1 we have 4 columns, then header will have only 4 columns. Main will have only 4 columns. Let's say we have assigned for the footer we have assigned the line type 2, then it will have only 2 columns. Header and main window will have 4 columns because we have assigned line type 1. Footer will have only 2 columns because we have assigned the line type 2. So here we have this. So we are making partitions in the line type 1. So we need to make the partitions in the line type, and then we have to assign this to the table. So let me see how many fields were there. We've taken 4 fields. Okay. So now in the line type 2, how do we create a line type 2? Is right click on the line type and insert line type underneath. And in this we'll make only 2 partitions. So when we make 2 partitions, only 2 partitions will come here. So when we save it, so there are 2 line types that we have created. Now when we go to the header, right click on this, create table line. For table line, it will ask you for the line type. So line type 1 is a 2 is a. If we assign line type 1, automatically 4 columns will come in that. Automatically the 4 columns. Line type 2, right click on the main area, create table line, and in this again we'll go for line type 1 only. All this will come, and then we'll go ahead with the footer. So right click on the footer, create table line, and in this we'll go for line type 2. Line type 2 in the sense it will be only 2 columns here because we have created only 2 columns. 2 columns only will be displayed there. This is what we have. Now once it's done, we'll go ahead with the column cell 1. Right click on this, create text, we'll create something like material number. This should be the heading. So then right click on this, create text. This will select this. We'll go ahead with the next one is plant. So we'll go for back. Right click on the third column, create text, LG word storage location. Storage location. PST states. So these are all headings, and in the main area we should get the data status. Back. Now once it's been done, we'll go ahead with this. In this, that data should come. Before the data has to come, first we'll go to the table. We'll double click on the table. In the data, we have created the table lines here. In the data, we will have this. We need to mention the table name, internal table name, work area, which we have defined on the top. So we have defined internal table as IT underscore Mardi, and here we have defined as WA underscore Mardi. Select OK. Then we have to go for this MATNR. So this is event sort it based on sort here and sort here. And once, okay, so what is the sorting is we have to sort it based on the primary key before and after the loop. And then this is a loop actually. So this is a loop. We are writing a loop. So instead of writing it manually like loop at id underscore madi pw underscore madi, we are just selecting it like this. So save it. Now that we have mentioned the internal table and work area in the table, so we can make use of the work area fields in the main area, because work area will be printed. The sort criteria is something which we have to do, just take it for granted. And then why is it so is because we have to, the system expects us to align the data with some field. So we'll go for right click on this, create text, this text, we'll go ahead, click on this. Now once we get that, we should be able to uh, write the work area fields here. So we're writing the field names and w underscore, this is the third one. So the third one, the field name was LGORT, storage location. So MARD hyphen LGORT, and right, let's create text. After the LGORT, we have something called TSTID. And W underscore MARD hyphen TSTID. And once it's been done, so right click on this, create text. In this, we'll just write text like page number, back. Okay, so here for this another one, the next one, I will give the system field, especially PAG number. So field name will be something else here. System fields, in the system fields, this one is SFSY. SFSY hyphen should give SFSY hyphen page name, no, not page name, page number, page. So page, SFSY hyphen page. So we'll go for that one. Page number. This has already been done. So in the next column, we have to do that. So we'll go ahead with the other one. Right click on this column. This is a last column. Yes. Last column of the footer. Okay. So we have two columns. Text. Okay. In the text, we click on this, and SFSY hyphen page. That non sy hyphen pag and go will give it right. So that will not work here. So we have to take it like this: sf sy hyphen page. Okay, now it's done. So we have designed all the pages here. We have to design all the windows and their concerned text and all we have done. So we'll just save it. We'll do the syntax check. It's syntactically correct. Activate. Header, main area, and footer. We have given all this now, and we have also activated this. We have activated the smartphone. So once we have activated the smartphone, we need to go into the SE38 and SE38, and there we need to write the print program. To write the print program, the first and foremost thing that we have to do is we have to get the form name. Okay, so form function module. So remember this: whenever we create a smart form, by default a system defined function module will be generated. Now how do we see that is, we go to this environment function module name. We'll get the function module name here. This is the function module name. Or we can go ahead with this. So we have copied the function module name. This is the function module name, which we need to call it from the print program. So that will be a dynamically generated function module. This is the function module name. Or you can also get the function module name like this. We just can click on the execute and you'll get the form. Yeah. So we'll go to SC38 program. We'll go for ZDXC underscore MRD underscore smartphone one. Okay, so it can be, it need not be the same as what we have done in the smartphone. Smartphone name is different and the program name is different. They don't have, they two can be same or they two can be different. Nothing matters. Smartphone code. We'll go for type executable. Say okay. And now so here we'll call that function module name, the dynamically created function module. We'll just call it here. The moment we call it, the import parameters, export parameters, everything will come here. So it will come like a function model. So what we need to pass here is we need to pass the IT underscore MADI. So for IT underscore MADI, we have to pass IT underscore MADI here. So we have to create that, right? So here what we'll do is we'll go for data it underscore Marty, type zit underscore Marty. So when you are comparing with, when you are copying the properties from the table type, you don't have to write standard table of. Only when you are copying the properties from a structure, we have to write standard table of. Okay, w underscore mrd, type zit zst underscore mr, then select options, s underscore matnr for w underscore mrd hyphen matnr, then select statement, select matnr. The remaining other fields are WRKS, LGORT, PST. WRKS, PST, LGORT from Mardi into table LT underscore Mardi, where MATNR in S underscore MATNR. Now we have written the select statement as well, and we have passed the value, internal table value we have passed. So what will happen? We'll get a table and we'll get the details of this. Save, activate. So when we execute, it will ask you for a printer. So since we don't have any printer connected to this system, so we'll go for default LP01. LP01 is a default printer for SAP. So default printer LP01. So we'll go ahead with that now. So we'll go ahead with LP01 default printer. Execute. So default printer is LP01. So we'll go for click on print preview. Don't click on print. Never click on print. Print preview. Just print preview. So you will get these details, and the 6 pages have been printed. So if you see here, this is the page 1, and if you go for this is the page 2, this is the page 3. Okay, so in this we have w underscore marty emitted. Plant is coming, storage location is coming, status is coming, but why material number is not coming? Oh, here instead of and I typed dollar symbol, so I have to keep the and symbol, right? We have to write every field between and. Instead of and, I give dollar symbol, so I need to change that now. So we have to go to that function smart form, and let me change this. Okay, so I need to change the text elements in this. Here instead of dollar, I need to select it as and. So here I gave dollar, so that's the reason it's not coming. I have to give and then that value also will come now. And if you have seen, the data is coming but the box is not coming, so we don't have any box. So we can draw a box here for the tables. We can go to the tables and then we can decide which type of a box you want. Outer frames, or we can have inner frames. So outer frames, we can select this outer frames. Okay. We'll go for select pattern. In the select pattern, display frames with display frame patterns. So frame patterns will go with this framed pattern. We'll go, yeah, this one. We'll go with the frame pattern. So some I've selected one frame pattern, and you can select the frame patterns from here. Okay, so that we can get the bugs. So make sure that you set the frame patterns, and frame patterns will be like overall will not get the box. We'll get the box lines only in between. It doesn't look good actually. So we just activate this. It's activated. Now what we'll do is we'll go back, execute again. So you'll get this data here. So now since we have selected the box is coming, and material number also is coming now. So we can go for the next page. This is the next page, second page, third page, fourth page, fifth page, and sixth page. This time, these are the values that we have. Now that we have got the output, so what we'll do is we'll go ahead with the uh, text mod styles. So what we can do is we can change the style of each heading or something like that. So if you see the output, if you would have seen the output of the program, it would have everything. The font is looking very normal. Let's see the output again. So in this, like, we have all font is normal. So what we want is Airtel India Private Limited should be big, and it should also in blue color. Let's say we have that kind of requirement. So if that kind of requirement is there is a default style is there at the page level, that is system. But for this header, for the header window, what we have done, we don't have any in the conditions. We text in the text header text. When we go to the header text, okay, actually it should be displayed like this. So previously it was not coming, now it's completed. So what we'll do is meanwhile we'll go ahead into the smartphones transaction again. This first, let's build the styles. So we can have our own style. So let's say I go for zdxc underscore style one, create. So we can decide what should be the font, what should be the size, everything we can decide. So in this, paragraph format is mandatory. So in the paragraph format only we'll be defining. Without paragraph format we cannot create a style. So we'll have a paragraph format p1. The p1 will go for this paragraph para1 font. Courier, size 20, bold, color, color is blue, and we have done this size as 20. You can even increase that. Maybe we'll make this 30. 30. Save it. We changed it. We'll save this style in the same package. Now once it's been done, we have to go for the header data. In the header data, we have to give the para. So once this para is selected, look for activate, and once it's been done, once the para is given, so we don't have to worry about these things. This doesn't get replicated. So para one, at the para one level, if you see, you will get that size and font how we had it. Font. So here you can see the font and all. So this is blue and gold. Same thing will be replicated for the entire style. So the style name is ZDXC style 1. So now this needs to be assigned to our smartphone. Okay, so let me log in again. Let's check the style name. This is the style. So we have activated this. This we would like to we really like to assign it to header. The style is active. The style name is ZDXC underscore style 1. Now we'll go to the form. In the form, we'll go to the header text. Double click on the text. In this, we'll have the conditions, output options. In the output options, we'll have this style. The style name which we have done there we have copying it here. Save and activate. So once it's activated, we can go to the SC38 and we can check the output. So you can see that Airtel India Private Limited is coming in bigger size, courier, bold, and size 30, and color is also changed. So in this way, we can design each window with different data and different contents. That's what we can. Okay, so this is about the styles. We can design the styles and we can assign the styles to either a single window, or you can also change the size and the style of the entire page also you can change. Entire page also we can change the style. Once it's been done, we will go ahead with. Now we have something called text module. Text module is sense like, see, you might have done some purchases online, or directly to the shop also. And when you purchase some products, there'll be some terms and conditions which will be written, and that will be of 30 pages. Nobody reads them, but 30 pages. So that is actually something which can be created as text module, which can be applied wherever we want. So if you have a lengthy message or lengthy data information text, and we want to copy it and use it in multiple number of smartphones, we can do that. Style also, we can, whatever style we have discussed now can be used in multiple programs, multiple smartphones. Go for zdxc underscore text module 1, create. Create text here. Let's say we write as terms and conditions. Point 1, made in India product. Second, don't buy Chinese products. For Chinese products. Okay. So we'll just say that. So we want to make it as text module. We have already done it as text module. Save. So there is nothing like activation. So we are just given the text module now. Text module name is zdxc underscore tm1. So we can go for form change. In that, for the footer, we'll go for text module instead of text element. We'll go for text module. We're selecting the footer, and there, when we see the text, we'll have an option called text module, and there we need to give this text module name. So that now here instead of text element, we have to change it as text module, and the text module name is zdxc underscore tm1. This has already come. So language is English. Save, activate. So once it's been done, we'll go ahead with. So here we have done this. So once it's been done and activated, so we need to activate this text module. Once we activate the text module, we can go ahead and now we can test that from the AC38 program. So when we execute it from AC38 program, the terms and conditions, whatever we have done, will be done. Not sure if it is activated. If it's activated, it should come. Okay, so we get this terms and conditions. So I'm made in India product. Don't buy Chinese products. Don't do it. Okay, there might be some spellings there. Okay, so anyways, like this is the one we have, guys. Like, okay, so we have used the text elements. In this way, we can build some text elements and keep it for using it in multiple number of forms. Now comes the logo part. Now, how do we upload the logo? For uploading the logo, we need to first go into SE78 transaction. First, we need to upload the logo image into the SE78. Then from there, we have to go ahead and design the other piece. So you can also design the logo, like window from here also. We can create a window from here also. In the create window, or we can say create instead of window. I'll go for graphic. Create graphic. So we need to have a graphic. So for the graphic name, which we have to give here, we need to first build the build the image in the SE78 transaction. SE78. Okay. First upload the image into a SAP system. So for this, like, begin the test code. So now we went into SC78 transaction. This okay. Here let me tell you one thing. It will accept only the .bmp file. So I need to save it as .bmp. There in the alias it was any image, right? Any type. So here we have to go for .bmp only. Okay. So this is the image that we have .bmp. So select .bmp. Go for the color image. We have to select the color image, and then we have to give this .bmp name. Color image. So the color images, the name of the color image. Okay, so we have to upload it. So not to access from here, we have to upload it into the system, right? So for the uploading, once we select the color and bitmap, you just click on this import button on the top. So when we click on the import button, you will be again prompted for color. So make sure it's color, and then access the image from your system. I'll go for desktop. On the desktop, I can say DXC India icon. So this I'll give this DXC India icon, and then go for OK. So graphic is imported, and the name of the graphic is DXC. Name of the graphic is DXC. Now we have to upload that image here. So we'll go for this. I think it's activated now. Image name is DXC. So you go for DXC color. Select the color. Execute. So we'll go to DXC. So here we have this DXC. Select that image and automatically graphic and bitmap all. Resolution we can increase or decrease. Say what will happen is sometimes it will be too big. If the image is too big for the page, we can increase the resolution. If we increase the resolution, then the image will be bigger, smaller. So if we decrease the resolution, the image will be big. So it's just replicating it. Once it replicates, we can see the image here on the right side. The image happens to be too big. So what we'll do is like we'll go ahead with the bigger resolution. Let me make this as 200. Let's see if it fits in. Okay, now it fits in. So if I make it 300, it will be even smaller. So okay, so just save and activate. So once it's been done, we can go ahead and execute and see the program again. That image also will be displayed in each and every page. So you can see this image here. We can also have this. So these are the values that we have, terms and conditions. Sorry. So the image has come, terms and conditions have come, and the style also has come. So these are the additional features that we have. Okay. With this, we complete the smart forms project.